We had loads of people show up into a very tiny co-working space. We filled the place up, and as a testament to how hard people worked, there was a mountain of pizza boxes and stuff parked outside, probably as tall as a small Volkswagen van right outside of the building. So the guys worked hard, they played hard, they drank, they ate, they came up with some interesting concepts, and part of it was that the winners get to present here. So you're going to see two of the winners of the Hackathon weekend, but the prizes were, they get a measly £1,000. They get to present here, but the projects also have the potential to be piloted in Papua New Guinea in association with Abt Associates and the central bank and Day One Investment. So the opportunity was a lot bigger than the challenge. So we had 18 teams in all, so it was a very long weekend, and the winners who won were exceptional. So we're going to learn a little bit more about what's happened, but before we do that, let's hear from Jane from Abt Associates on her experience.
Thank you, everyone. And I must say I was surprised that there's been such an emerging markets theme at this meeting, but absolutely delighted. And Shane said emerging markets don't need blockchain, blockchain needs emerging markets. But there's another group, and clearly Rudy's a member of that group, and that includes us at Abt Associates, who are trying to figure out how we use blockchain technology to transform the lives of the poor. So because of that, we actually got in touch with Luis, and we set 2 challenges for the hackathon, which were real world challenges set in Papua New Guinea, because that's a country where there's a deep interest in seeing how technology can change things for people, and we work a great deal. And together with the Central Bank of Papua New Guinea, we set 2 challenges for the teams, which are around how to use blockchain to overcome some of the significant problems that governments have, getting services, getting money, getting identity for people. So we're really delighted to be here, and at Abt Associates, and I put this plea out to all of you. If anyone thinks that you've got a technology that might be useful in an emerging economy to help the poor or to improve economic development, come and tell us, because we're genuinely interested in it, and we seriously are interested in bringing the hackathon winners and potentially other people to get real life trials of blockchain in a difficult setting such as Papua New Guinea, and see if we can really make it work, and then go for scale. So we're serious, we want to do it, we believe that blockchain can, you probably saw my hashtag, blockchange the world. We actually think blockchain might be able to do it, and we want to be out there figuring out how that happens. So we're really delighted to be joined by the Central Bank of PNG, who are equally interested in the potential of blockchain to help them with some of their challenges. And I'd just like to invite Naomi Kilamanu from the Central Bank of PNG to just spend a minute telling you why they're interested in blockchain. And then the moment that you're waiting for, I know, is our 2 fabulous hackathon winners, and that will come soon. Naomi.
Good afternoon all. Thank you for the privilege to come and say a few words here on behalf of the Bank of PNG. I'm the head of the IT department at the Bank of PNG. Bank of Papua New Guinea is the largest central bank in the Pacific. The Papua New Guinea is above Australia. You can Google it and see where we are. But there are 7 million people, more than 7 million people. And out of those 7 million people, there are 800 languages, different languages. And 4 of them are represented here, the 3 of us from the Bank of Papua New Guinea and Shane. None of us know each other's language. So we speak English. Fortunately, we learned how to speak English. But the challenge for us coming here was to find out about Bitcoin and blockchain. What do those terms mean? What does the technology bring to us? So we started a research and development program within the Bank of PNG. So among us is a research person, because we come from the Bank of PNG, and our challenge is also include regulatory as a central bank. We've been here and we went to the hackathon. The biggest challenge or the project that the Bank of PNG has initiated in the last few years is financial inclusion. Financial inclusion in a nation where national identity doesn't exist. Data security is a problem, and remittance issues, land titles where land is owned by customary land ownership. How do we resolve those issues? All those are now becoming reality within the Bank of PNG, recognizing that and trying to find solutions that are affordable for our people. And the Bank of PNG is spearheading in a lot of these projects, working with the commercial banks to go out into the rural areas, working with microfinance banks and institutions, savings and loans to go out. Is there a better way to find a solution to this, to bring the people that are unbanked into the financial community? And that is a very big challenge for us. And so we're here, we learned a lot during this week. We're fortunate to be here. And we saw the people at the hackathon, a lot of very intelligent and enthusiastic, excited people. We could only choose two, but for us, it meant that all the solutions that were presented to us had an element of a solution that could be offered. We had to choose out of 18, and that was difficult, but each of them offered something that could actually work for us. And Jane here will announce who they are, and they will come and show you what they have presented to us and why we thought that those were the things that probably would solve initially the problems that we had. Thank you very much.
So thank you, and for those of you who weren't there, the hackathon was amazing. I mean, we really did have 18 teams, and many of their pitches were things that we seriously want to consider even though they didn't win. It was just an extraordinary weekend. We loved connecting with everyone. We loved getting ideas. And we had 2 winners because we had 2 challenges, and they're here to show you what they came up with. And they really were awesome, as were many of the other people in the room. And it was a fantastic, exciting weekend that we got a huge amount out of. And together with the Bank of PNG, we're serious about taking this forward. So the 2 young men that you're about to see, we're going to be taking them to PNG to see if we can test their ideas in situ. And so without further ado, I'd like to introduce you first to Osh, who came up with his solution, which was GovBlock, and let him come and tell you about that. Osh.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ish, so sorry for that, but that's okay. So, yeah, first of all, I would like to express my thanks to the team of Bank of PNG, Abt Associates, and especially the organizers, Louis and Antonio, and not to forget Dewan Investments, for giving us this platform for showcasing our talent. So yes, I'm here to present my solution for agile financial inclusion and e-citizen services using permissioned blockchain technology. So we've worked on Ethereum, and we've created a permissioned blockchain technology on that. So I personally believe that financial inclusion is not just about opening bank accounts, insurance, healthcare, or such related stuff, but it's about access to almost everything that a country wants to give to its citizen. And also the fact that financial inclusion does not need a bank account. So that's the basis of my solution. So let's just go forward with it. So yeah, we have 2 types of people in any society. One is a paying agency, as we can see in the first block. And the second is the receiver or the beneficiary. So the paying agency can be a government agency, corporate offices, exporters, buyers, processors, mining and forestry, which is one of the main occupations in PNG. And then the fisheries industries, agriculture, domestic remittances, and urban employees. So the receivers on the other end are employees, projects, farmers, middlemen, industries, incorporated land groups, employees, villagers. So the problem is that how do we transfer money to them? Because PNG, it's impossible for an emerging country to have a full set network of bank branches for last mile connectivity. So how do we do that? So the first concept of cryptocurrencies that we've introduced is creating a e-Kina reserve out of the main Kina currency. So basically, Kina is a currency of PNG for those who didn't know. So the concept is that Bank of PNG, which is sitting here, debits the account of paying agency and creates a e-Kina reserve account. So the e-Kina reserve is never created without debiting the main account. So that's where we control the entire flow of money and the economy thereby. So as per the PA mandate, the Bank of PNG credits e-Kina to the identified receivers or the beneficiary. How we identify them, we'll show you once we go to the next slide. And then the receivers or beneficiaries redeem those e-Kina at a whole ecosystem of SMEs, retail outlets, traders, online shops, so where they can just cash in, cash out the same e-Kina allotted to them. And of course, the government of PNG monitors the entire system. So we have all the 4 actors on the same system. It can be the paying agency, beneficiary, bank, and the government of PNG. So the entire ecosystem is automated. So that's the basic architecture that we've proposed. So here we have a happy citizen on the left. Then there is an app that we've developed and the blockchain network on the back end that we've developed. So if you look at the blockchain network, we've got government departments like, that's just a sample. I mean, we can have loads of them. So agriculture, health, land, taxes, education. Then we have enterprises like banks, SMEs, telecom, a bank being in the middle of everything because that's where everything works from. So yeah, that's a brief technology overlay that we've used. So we have used Ethlite wallet, which is being done by Consensus. And it's being used for building an inbuilt key store on the mobile app. So that we don't need a full Geth client on the citizen side. So that's because that's really important because Ethereum Lite client is still under development and we've used Ethlite wallet to make sure that the citizen doesn't have to be in sync with the entire Ethereum network. So he can just have his local key store within the mobile phone and it's built on AngularJS. So we communicate with the Geth node, the entire blockchain network over web3.js, which is over RPC. And these Geth nodes are standard Ethereum nodes. So we go ahead, we have done a brief study of the pain points of the government of PNG. We've highlighted them under regulatory services, community services, engineering, corporate affairs, PM announcements, and revenue services. So for this presentation, we are taking one use case out of the entire ecosystem, which is of agriculture, because that happens to be one of the PM announcements. So yeah, we'll have a quick use case summary. So let's assume there's a farmer known as Alan. He wants to raise funds for his farmhouse. So he visits a local help center manager named John, who helps Alan download the app and upload his identity proof. So now that's the catch. How does he upload the identity proof? So we build 4 types of profiles of any citizen. So one is the identity profile. The second is occupation profile. The third is asset profile. And the fourth is liabilities profile. So for all these profiles, we can have a combination of IDs which can be uploaded on the network. So it can be, let's say, Alan might just have his election card, which proves his identity. So he can upload that. He might have some land document for his farmhouse. He can upload that as well. So which proves his asset identity. And once he does that, whatever document he uploads goes to the corresponding department for approval. So in this case, it goes to the election department server. So as we can see, EDS stands for election department server, who use their own application logic to verify the details keyed in by Alan. And accordingly, once they verify the details, they broadcast it to the entire network, which consists of, let's assume, agriculture department as well, that yes, we've got a citizen who's identified on the network. Now the agriculture department doesn't need to verify Alan again. It's there on the blockchain, it's immutable. So they start giving access to Alan for all the services in which he can avail grants. So once the EDS broadcast to the entire network, ADS will start giving access to the services. Now, once that's done, Alan submits a request to ADS about whatever, how much kinas does he require, the grant that he requires, and ADS gives an approval. So now, so basically the catch here is that there is no cash movement over here. So ADS is only allotting e-kina to Alan through a smart contract, which is governed with time. So if now if Alan has to redeem those e-kina, he has to go to an ecosystem of authorized SMEs. Let's assume Suzy. So Alan goes to Suzy to buy fertilizers, and Suzy is very happy to send it to sell the fertilizers to him in lieu of e-kina. Now Suzy negotiates the e-kina with the bank, who debits the account of agriculture and then credits the account of Suzy. So the cash movement is only at the end point. So these are some of the screenshots that we have of the working prototype that we developed during the hackathon. Yeah, Alan uploads his identity. He starts once EDS approves it. So yeah, these are the set of identities which Alan can approve. So there's a huge list which can go below this. So once he gets an approval, the departments will start giving schemes, and then he can apply to those schemes. The application gets approved, and he gets kinas in his account. So he can use those kinas, e-kinas, I would say, to pay to Suzy, and then he can buy fertilizers. So coming back to the advantages of the use case, which is very enlightening. So Alan saved a lot of time, effort, and cost by avoiding to visit the agriculture department multiple times. He doesn't have to wait for opening of a bank account. Doesn't have to wait for proving his identity by attestation of authorized officers. He doesn't have to wait for approval of the application which he's giving to the agriculture department. And of course, he doesn't have to go to the ATM to to withdraw money to pay to Suzy. And Suzy is happy as well. She's increased her sales. She doesn't want to wait for credit, because this is all real time. When she sends a redemption request to the bank will hit the ADS server, negotiate with them, and then send the kinas back to Suzy's account, because Suzy is banked. I mean, the SME sector is banked. Who's not banked is Alan. And agriculture department as well, they've done a quick and accurate dispersal. And the best part of the solution is that they don't have to worry about misutilization of the funds. So if Alan was given a grant to purchase fertilizers, then Alan can only purchase fertilizers from that. That's the best part of the solution. And that's where we solve the problem of spaghetti, I guess. The way Rudy put it. So yeah, I mean, the funds are being utilized properly by Alan, and the agriculture department is very sure of it. And again, if Alan is not utilizing the funds within a specific amount of time, then the agriculture department can actually recall back the e-kina to help some other farmers who would want to use the subsidy or the grant. So yeah, there are some areas of improvement that we've thought of. One was suggested by Jane herself, that maybe we could also use the telecom industry, because PNG is substantially, they have a very good penetration of mobile connections, if not internet connections. So we could use the telecom sector for proving the identity of the user. And we could also use USSD, which is a fantastic way of providing services without the need of internet. So just like we check balances on a phone on our prepaid connections, so maybe we could send the transaction hash through the USSD, but it's still not explored. So I need to have, we need to really work on that. If that can work, it can really disrupt the entire area. And then yes, we have to enhance data transfer. RPC is not really very secure, so maybe we have some kind of encrypted API in between. The brief roadmap, yeah, I've written it. I'm not sure if it's fine, but yeah, I mean, let's just skip this, I believe. Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you very much. And so the second winner is dealing with this intractable problem of identity. So with identity in PNG, most people don't have any form of identity. Most people don't have electricity. Most people don't have internet. So our second winner has come up with an innovative solution of how to address the identity problem in a country like PNG, where people don't have internet, and people don't have power, and people don't have identity.
Yeah, so before going to this hackathon, I was not really planning to, I had like my own idea, was using like machine learning, AI and blockchain, but it was not solving any problem in a developing country. So the thing is, after like having a chat and talking about the different people in a hackathon, I realized that all the different ideas were very, very cool, But if you think about the main problem that's been around for the past, for a long time in those developing countries, is how do you identify someone? Because you can build all this big project, but if you don't have, the only way those people, they don't have a smartphone, they don't have internet, the only thing they've got is a phone with SMS. If you think about the main problem is 1.5 billion people in the world don't have identity. So I thought about like the thing, I've got a master in electrical engineering and master in computer science. So I said maybe I could actually use those two skills to build something that is very cheap and can solve the problem of identity. So the solution is a device that can be easily built with all the latest technology. It's very cheap and solve the problem of creating a new identity without having a smartphone, neither internet or a power grid. So I'm going to show you a quick video.
Papauni Box is a cost-efficient device that enables people within developing countries to create a unique identity. The Papauni Box device is composed of a Raspberry Pi, SMS chip, fingerprint recognition, and a solar panel. By combining these components, it allows us to create a secure identity-based service that will revolutionize the way that developing countries participate in a range of activities. From Papua New Guinea to Ghana to Samoa, we are able to ship the device to any local area even if they don't have power or the internet. The devices, which cost less than $50, are hosted in a range of centralized areas like schools, churches, banks and coffee shops. People use their SMS phones to text the Papauni Box device to create a unique mapping of their phone and fingerprint, creating a personal ID. Across the country, millions of people do not have an ID. This is John. He has recently heard about Papauni Box. Using his phone and the local Papauni Box, which is located at his nearby church, he is able to create a unique ID. He sends an SMS to the Papauni Box to activate the registration process. He puts his finger on the fingerprint scanner. The box then encrypts the fingerprint using an advanced encryption process and then sends the hash of the fingerprint by SMS to the blockchain attached with John's phone number. If the identity doesn't exist, it then creates a new identity on the blockchain and sends a confirmation message to John on his phone to confirm his new unique ID. With his new identity, John is now able to view his balance, history of transactions he has made, and to securely transfer money to other people who have created a unique ID. Each time John wishes to make a transfer with other active users, his unique ID is verified against the blockchain. He is quickly notified of his transactions on the phone. He can also participate in voting systems, healthcare registration, and ownership of land. Thanks to the Papauni Box, John's engagement with these activities has been revolutionized.
Okay, so this was the video, and I said, okay, so let's actually build it because it's an hackathon, right? So then that was me. Actually, and if you don't trust me, do you see the post-it? This got a number. This is actually a hash of the Ethereum hash. That was on Saturday evening. So yeah, I had everything in my home. I do like DIY all the time. So I said, okay, I can actually build it. I've got a fingerprint, I've got a Raspberry Pi, I've got all the tools and soldering. So then I started building it. Took me the entire evening actually. And then this is what I come up. It's not a bomb, it's actually a device. On the device, you've got a phone number. So basically what happened, I can actually show you. I've got the device here, still not a bomb. And I've got, for country that don't have access to internet, they can use a solar panel, which is very cheap, costs like 10 pounds maybe. You got a USB cable on the side. On the side here, you've got, what's actually inside, you've got the USB, you can plug the solar panel. You've got a SIM card, so you buy the SIM card everywhere. So basically, this is not linked to any provider. You just buy the SIM card anywhere. You plug inside, and then as soon as you text the box will turn on. You put your fingerprint, and you can also add an extra code. I did a live demo, and everything was working at a hackathon. just because today I don't really have time. And the thing is, I post the box and the phone number on Twitter, and now my Twilio is basically blocked, so I cannot really use it. Yeah. For those that have technical questions, I can answer all of them. I create an algorithm that is using, it's called the fuzzy logic and neural network. It's an advance that was created like 10 years ago. This is how you can actually create, because the problem with fingerprint is how you actually place your finger, but this can be solved with this algorithm. And you can also add what we call a vein sensor, and then later on you can also add iris sensor. But this obviously increases the price of the box. What you want to do is just ship the box anywhere in the country. People plug the SIM, and then starts texting the box. You can also add segmented witness, which is called when you, if you've got like a lot of corruption in like a certain part of the country, based on the GPS, what you can do is you can, in order to increase the algorithm, you can send this, the person is trying to identify, you can send it to friends that he's got in common, and then they can approve. They can actually approve that it is want to create a new identity. So the process works. I've got a prototype, and yes, if you got any questions, please. Cool.
Thank you. It's pretty cool. We saw it work. It actually put the fingerprint on it. It created the account, and then it texted him back the ID. So it was pretty cool to see that happen all over the course of one weekend. So thanks again and well done, and look forward to seeing that application out in the real world.